Hello, everybody. We are here today to talk about a brand new court filing that just showed up in Britney Spears' case. I am still not fully set up, so I'm going to pull up the filing now. Let's see, where is it? Oh gosh, did I lose it? Also, Britney seems to have just deleted her Instagram account, which is terrifying. Oh my gosh, my worst nightmare. I just literally lost this. Okay, wait, is it in here? Yes, perfect. Okay, so what do y'all want to talk about first? Should we? Yeah, I got my snack. Thank you. Should we talk about the filing first, or should we talk about Instagram? I guess Instagram, y'all can like read on the news and stuff. Like everybody's talking about that. So I guess we should let's just get into this court filing first, and then we'll talk about the Instagram. Because I mean, I'm not really like the Instagram news anyway over here. Okay, let's see if I can get this a little bit where it'll fit on the screen. Okay, so we have this new court filing. If you look at the very top, it was filed today. Let's see, I guess I don't need this here. Okay. Okay, so it was filed today, and as you can see, it is titled Supplement to, can I make this bigger somehow? Let's see. Is that bigger? No. It is titled Supplement. Yeah, I think I can do this. There we go. Supplement to the petition to terminate the conservatorship. Okay, so someone has filed a supplement, and who is it? Well, it is a familiar name, Lisa McCarley, who's filing as the executive director of Betty's Hope, which is a charity that she owns and runs, or maybe she owns and runs, I think. Okay, so I haven't read this document, so I'm not exactly sure what it is. Analysis of file. Okay. Just want to hear your analysis of the filing. Thank you, BJ. Okay, great. We will. Thanks. Thanks, Nikita. We will go over the filing. Okay. And then if we have time at the end, we'll talk about Instagram. Okay. So we have Lisa McCarley, who is a lawyer in the probate courts in California. We have done a couple things together along the way. I did not have any idea she was going to be filing this at all. Petition to terminate conservatorship of the person and the estate. And then she says, declaration of Lisa McCarley. So a couple things real quick I want to talk about before we get into this filing. It's questions that I basically have right now before we start. First question is, who is Lisa McCarley filing this on behalf of, right? Because we've seen a couple of filings from people who are not in this case lately, right? Like we saw the ACLU filing. We saw some guy named Stan Wantouch filed to terminate the conservatorship a while back. We saw this guy, sorry, just moving this a little bit. This guy, Jared Middleton Miller. So we've seen a few people filing and stuff. And our question should always be sort of like, what is their standing to be filing this document? And who is their client if they're a lawyer, right? So my first question is, who is Lisa's client that she's filing on behalf of? And is it this Betty's Hope or something? Sorry, I'm just trying to get this somewhat situated. Is it this Betty's Hope? Does she have another client? What is it? What's going on? Okay, so that's my first question. Second question is, what's her standing? So those are the two questions. You want to know what's really because you get, at some point you can't just have people filing stuff in the courts across, every court. You can't just be filing stuff in other people's cases, but, sometimes you have a good reason like the ACLU. So let's just see what Lisa says. Interests of amici curiae. Okay, so if you look at the bottom here, amicus brief and supplement to petition to terminate. So what we're really looking at is a supplement to Jamie Spears's petition to terminate that we have a video on already as well. Petition to terminate. So it's a supplement. It's not a petition in its own right. It's just a supplement adding on to his. And then it says amicus brief. So amicus brief is the type of thing that certain lawyers that have like particular expertise in a certain field, they will be able to file these kind of like sort of like opinions, like the layperson's version of an opinion of like what they think. But I mean, like you can Google what an amicus brief is. Like a lot of times law professors will do them. Like I had a law professor that did an amicus brief for the NFL Supreme Court case where they were settling or doing something with the helmet laws and stuff. So he wrote that, or he wrote something about the cake discrimination. Was it discrimination or not when the baker wouldn't make the cake? So he basically like wrote his opinion out, the case law, and like sent it to the Supreme Court. But I think they like solicited amicus briefs or something. I don't really know how it works. Somebody who's a litigator explain a little better than me in the comments. But okay, so Betty's Hope. So she's saying, what are the interests of this brief? Amici curiae is like a Latin word. I don't know if we have to say it that way. I really don't know how to pronounce Latin. I don't think anybody really does. Betty's Hope was created to advocate for the correction and reform of California's probate courts and probate and equity courts throughout the nation. Okay. Specifically, it has become abundantly clear that the present system of allowing and encouraging judicial officers to train, select, appoint, direct, and compensate counsel has led to a veritable plethora of ethical and constitution violations that, in turn, lead to horrific outcomes for persons facing or in conservatorships and their families. Okay. True. I mean, okay, so like I agree. Oh, I'm not showing the filing. Sorry. Here y'all go. My bad. So this is what I just read right here. Number 1. Betty's Hope was created to do these things. And I'm slowing down here because I feel like I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the standing and stuff is, but again, I'm not a litigator. I really don't know how it all works. Because we had that other lady, Katerina, who filed a declaration like last year in this case too. I guess I don't really actually know the rules on like who can file things in court. Can y'all see it now? So Lizzie looked up the court. Betty's Hope began in 2019 as a nonprofit. Okay. So she said it's a nonprofit. Thank you, Lizzie. It's a nonprofit organization created for these purposes, advocate for the correction, reform, all this stuff. And then this bad stuff's been going on in the court, which I agree with. The untoward conservatorship of Brittany Jean Spears, here and after she's going to call her Miss Spears, is a case directly on point. So she's going to use Brittany's case as a way to talk about what Betty's Hope is doing, I guess. Not today. Lisa has a lawyer and sorry, Brittany has a lawyer and Lisa has filed a document. People have been telling her to butt out. Yeah. I don't know. Let's read a little further and see what's going on here. Number 2, Betty's Hope's specific mission as a charitable entity is to ensure that every person facing or in a conservatorship is represented by a lawyer who is trained, supervised, and held accountable for their misfeasance or even malfeasance, as the case may be. Under the current system in Los Angeles and other counties, judges, why she put judges in scare quotes, are at once the triers of fact and obscenely dependent on reports written by court-appointed counsel. Presently, there is no agency, person, or entity at all to report concerns about the competence and efficacy of the court-appointed counsel in Los Angeles and Orange counties. Okay, she may be right, but in this particular case, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, Brittany has a lawyer, so I don't know, maybe we'll get to it, but I'm kind of confused as to whether or not this was like the appropriate forum for this filing. Like, Betty's Hope. I mean, that's great. I'm glad that that exists, but what does it have to do with Brittany's case is kind of my question. Maya said they think an amicus has to be asked to file or something, but she's not definitely sure. Whoever, sorry, reading somebody else's comments. No, like people saying like Lisa, is she legit or not legit? Lisa is a legitimate attorney. She practices law and she's a real lawyer in the California probate courts. She actually has worked with Sam Ingham before. Listen, I don't like, don't take, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, this is a first impression. I'm trying to figure out what Lisa, the primary purpose of this brief. Okay, here we are. Primary purpose of the brief. Okay. The primary purpose of this brief and supplement is to educate the court, counsel, and general public as to the numerous reasons that the conservatorship of Britney Spears must be terminated. It is hoped that the documents, explanations, and arguments presented in this brief will be informative and elicit cogent responses from all three branches of the government. I don't know if that's an appropriate purpose of it. I don't know. We'll see. The secondary purpose of this brief is to request that California governor, so let's just highlight the primary purpose. This is what you would do if you were in law school, maybe. The secondary purpose is to request the governor, Gavin Newsom, California Chief Justice Tani Cantel-Saccoye, sorry, I know I didn't say that right. I don't know how to say it. The Judicial Council of California and the State Bar of California immediately convene a public hearing to discern exactly how it came to be that the entirety of the Los Angeles Superior Court Probate Department ran roughshod over Miss Spears' constitutional rights, thus depriving her life, liberty, and pursuit and property for over 13 years. Okay. She retweeted my tweet about the court document. What do you mean not today? Oh, thanks, Femme Fatale. So what I'm kind of getting from this is, okay. First of all, what I want to say is I agree with her. I agree with her completely. And I would love it if there were a public hearing to discern exactly how it came to be that the entirety of the Los Angeles County Superior Court's probate department violated Britney's constitutional rights. I totally agree with that. I'm kind of, my two competing concerns right now are not concerns, but competing processors right now are one as a sort of like activist and like, yeah, she's right. And the other side's kind of like as a lawyer. And I'm just trying to figure out what are the appropriate mechanisms here. Like, again, I don't really know the rules 100% for like who gets to file a thing in court, but she's right. She's not wrong. What she's saying is correct. The reason I'm just like apprehensive is I just don't want Lisa to like get in trouble for filing. You know what I mean? Like, but we'll read it. I just don't know whether or not this was like able to be filed. If I could, good for her for doing something, but I don't want her to get in trouble. I don't want to mess Britney's case up, but I agree with her completely. 100%. And I would 100% endorse this here, a public hearing, and we all need to be able to ask you some questions. Not we all, right? I'm just kind of putting myself in there. Okay. So the probate, reading some of y'all's comments real quick. No, timing's right. Yeah, something about timing. Yeah, she is smart. Okay, on the other foot, I'm not waffling. I am using what's called critical analysis, which is something you may learn if you stick around here long enough. I am not waffling. I am thinking out loud through how I process like which side of an issue that I fall on. And I think it's actually very important that a lot of us learn that skill and are prepared to change our minds very quickly if we're presented with new information. It's like one of the things that we are like lacking as a society. Okay. So the probate court does not have valid jurisdiction over Miss Spears. Okay, let's hear this argument. Britney has never been served with a citation as mandated by the California Probate Code section 1242, which states the citation shall, emphasis added, be served on the person cited in the manner provided in chapter 4. Okay. Perfect. We did read a citation just on the live earlier with Amanda Bynes, actually. So if you're wondering what a citation is, you can go and check that video out. But yeah, we saw this paper. Thank you, Nasib. We saw this paper earlier that Amanda Bynes would have received, and it told her all her rights and different things on it, right? And it was called a citation. So Lisa's saying Britney never even got one of those. So we have Brian saying Lisa makes a living off putting people in conservatorships. Interesting. I didn't recognize that. I thought she served as both. I didn't realize it was like the living. It's interesting. A probate attorney. Did she? Huh. You already read it all on your own. Stop. Yeah. This is like just us discussing it as we're reading it live together. Is kind of what's going on here. Okay. So, in other words, a document called a citation is required to be personally handed or placed on the body of each and every person facing conservatorship without exception. Okay. And this part right here, like I would say Lisa probably does know the rules because she's a probate attorney. It provides critical advisements that the California legislature specifically wanted the proposed conservatee to have in order to ensure fairness and a chance to be heard. This is the pillar of our legal system, due process. In a conservatorship case, it starts with the mandatory personal service of the citation. So, like I've said, since June 2020, Brittany was denied due process. She was not given the opportunity to be heard. She wasn't given notice. She wasn't given a hearing to really be able to plead her own side of the story before her rights were taken away. And that's what Lisa's saying here in the specific mechanism Lisa is pointing to is called the citation, right? The quoted thing here. Okay, so she attached Exhibit A, a true and correct copy of the citation that was filed by Jamie's lawyers on March 10th, 2008. And the second and third pages reflect that it was served on Sam Ingham, and that was Brittany's lawyer, via fax and by email, and it was not delivered personally to Brittany as is required by law. See, she seems to be right. She seems to be correct. Nikita, you're so funny. Brittany was denied. Lisa wants to highlight that Brittany was denied due process and makes the whole conservatorship unconstitutional. Yeah, no, I think that's correct. Number 8 says, apparently not a single lawyer, judicial officer, or staff member of the probate department noticed this omission or they did notice and they did nothing. So it would appear that no one was concerned about the violation of the most basic tenet of due process, which is notice. I agree. Number 9, the failure to deliver the citation to Brittany in person is a defect that invalidates the entirety of the conservatorship because the court never properly established jurisdiction over her. That's an interesting argument. Again, I'm not sure if, this is necessarily like the time or place to file this, but I agree completely, and it's a good argument. I haven't heard like that specific mechanism used to make the due process argument before, which is because the citation wasn't served on Brittany personally, then the court doesn't even have jurisdiction over her. So that's a cool, interesting legal argument for sure. Seems like a good thing to have Penny reminded of all this stuff. Yeah, it does seem like a good thing to have her reminded. Good point so far. Steve Cass, this is the main question. Hey, Sloan. Steve is asking, is this petition legal? That's kind of what I keep waffling about. Is this petition legal? Not legal. I'm not saying it's illegal, right? But like, can a third party, non-interested party file this? I don't know. I don't actually know. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. If it wasn't legal, a lawyer likely wouldn't be doing it. Yeah, exactly. That's why Nikita, I corrected myself. I don't mean it's illegal. I just mean like, is this going to have any impact or sway with the court legally? That's more what I meant. I definitely do not think it's illegal by any means. I'm not implying that. Okay, so so we're on number 9. Failure to deliver that to her is a defect. Okay, never established jurisdiction over her. Next argument is Brittany's unequivocal right to counsel was violated. So we've definitely talked about this before too. Let's see what Lisa has to say. Ironically, thank you so much. X amount of words. You are welcome for everything I do. Okay, so we have paragraph 4 of the citation clearly states. So this is the citation, right? She's referencing that thing that we saw earlier in Amanda's video. And it states on paragraph 4, you have the right to appear and object. You have the right to hire an attorney of your own choice. Don't y'all remember I made such a big deal about those that clause in there. And I was like, this should be in bold. This should be in a page on its own. It's like these tiny little words. The only reasonable interpretation of that statement is that the California state legislature found it critical that a person facing the loss of life, liberty, and property, especially within the context of a conservatorship proceeding, that some refer to as legal death, be afforded the dignity of an advocate of their own choice to protect their interests. I agree completely. I cannot disagree. Debbie wants to know if she paid herself out of the fund for this. It's a great question. Again, Lisa is not wrong. Okay. I mean, in my opinion, whatever I know, whatever that's worth, but like, I totally agree with her. If it says, okay, so basically what she's saying is, look, they have this citation document, and the language of that citation document was very specifically decided on by the legislature. And every single person who's facing a conservatorship is supposed to be able to see that citation because of all of that information. So some of the information on there is this quote, that you have the right to appear and object. You have the right to hire an attorney of your own choice. Okay. So Lisa's saying, listen, knowing what we know about how this got in place, the only reasonable interpretation of why that is there and everything like that is that the legislature intended for conservatives facing a conservatorship to be able to hire their own lawyer. Okay. I agree with that. On February 1st, 2008, the probate department issued an order appointing counsel, and a true and correct copy of that document is attached as Exhibit B. As was always done during those years with cases involving celebrities or vast wealth, so like really, really, really rich people or celebrities, Sam D. Ingham, the probate department's favorite, was appointed as Brittany's counsel. So then she has a footnote down here, footnote 1. In addition to the obvious bias in favor of Mr. Ingham and a few other attorneys, Justice Maria T. Stratton also revealed at a training program that these judicial officers had a secret blacklist of lawyers who were not appointed as PVP counsel, as it was called during that time. It used to be PVP, now it's called like CAC, Court Appointed Counsel. Okay, so she's saying that there was a secret blacklist. I'm assuming she was on it, being how upset she seemed, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so Sam Ingham, the special favorite, he always got favorited, basically. She's basically saying like, hey, listen, don't forget about this guy. There is not now and has never been, we're on 12, statutory authority for a judicial officer to appoint counsel on the same day that a petition for appointment of probate conservator is filed. So she's saying there is no statute that allows a judge to appoint a lawyer on the same exact day that a petition to appoint the lawyer is conservator is filed. In fact, the obvious interpretation of the code is that court-appointed counsel is a safety net. Oh, this is interesting information. It's a safety net for those people who do not have counsel. Interesting, Lisa. Both statutes regarding the appointment of counsel include the words if, as in if the person facing conservatorship requests or needs counsel to protect their interests, then the court will appoint counsel. So Lisa's saying there is more issues in this statute here, in this legislative intent here. And the issue is it was supposed to be a safety net for people who just didn't have a lawyer, like maybe they weren't able to get one or something. But the people who wrote these laws never intended the judges to sit there and deny the right to counsel. It seems to be what Lisa is saying. In addition, Exhibit B reflects that counsel appointed herein shall have access to and authority to review the copy of the medical records of Britney Spears, the proposed conservatee, without his or her consent. And there is no statutory authority for this wholesale violation of privacy rights, and never has been. And that's been something that I have been concerned about from the very beginning, is that Britney did not choose this lawyer. She did not choose Jody Montgomery. She did not choose all of these people who get to have full and complete total access to her medical records. And that just doesn't seem right to me. If she never lost the legal right to make her own medical decisions, and she did not, then why on earth did she lose the right to her medical privacy? Why do all these strangers that she did not choose to be in her life get to see all of her medical information? And so, again, I have to agree with Lisa in these arguments here. There's no law that allows for that. They're running amok. Brittany was not given 5 days notice of the hearing to conserve her, as is required by the code. So here's another issue. While it was true that she was a patient at the UCLA Medical Center on February 1st, it is not true that there was any medical or financial emergency that warranted the waiver of this notice by the court. See, they said it was Sam Lutfi who was influencing her. They also told the court she had dementia. But the reason for not giving her this notice was allegedly because Sam Lutfi was going to find out about the conservatorship. Well, that's not a reason. That's not a reason to not give someone notice. It's constitutional right. Brittany was reportedly well enough to eat In-N-Out burgers and make telephone calls to her father, to her family law attorneys, and eventually to her attorney, Adam Streisand. So I agree with Lisa again. There was no good reason for that. So she put, okay, that's fine. So then we're on 15. Let's see, hold on. Saw that too. Hold on. What are y'all saying? Rosengart told the same magazine it was Brittany's choice. Is it possible to hold Gates account? Maybe Brittany. Okay. All right. Number 15, attached here to is Exhibit C. So now this is a minute order that's believed to be a correct copy, but was unavailable directly from the LSAC's website. Thank you so much, Isaac, for the super sticker. Number 16, a minute order is so now she's explaining basically for the public, because I think a judge would know what this is. A minute order is a document prepared by the court clerk who is present during the proceedings to memorize the findings. Oh, sorry, not memorize. To memorialize the findings and orders of the court. The minute order reflects the names of the attorneys who appeared for Jamie and the appearance of both Sam Ingham and Adam Streisand. The minute order affirms that Mr. Streisand was ejected from the proceedings. Number 17, as Adam Streisand described during his interview in the New York Times brilliant documentary Framing Britney Spears, Mr. Streisand was fired as Britney's counsel by Judge Reva Gates. Exactly. There is not now and never has there been a statutory authority for any judge to fire a litigant's attorney. But the circumstances are even more bemusing than that, which means like astounding. Adam Streisand also stated that Judge Gates claimed that she had a, quote, report that he was not allowed to see. And setting aside the constitutional violations no one in the courtroom apparently recognized, there is no mention of any doctor's report or capacity declaration being filed by Jamie's counsel on the case summary in the period between these times. So let's see the footnote. Adam would later tell CNN reporter Chris Cuomo, RIP, that, oh wait, no, that was his brother. Sorry, Chris, not you. That Judge Gates told him it was a report from Dr. Spar. The transcript of the February 4th, 2008 will clarify that point. Okay, so I don't know, something about the transcript. I'm not sure why that's here. But she's saying, okay, it was a report from Dr. Spar. He said it all over the media. And Judge Reva Gates said she had this report. But that never was filed, is what Lisa's saying. Nothing was ever filed. So I don't know what she was reading, is basically what she was saying. Okay. 18, a thorough investigation should be made by Brittany's present counsel, that's Matt Rosengart, as to how Judge Gates obtained a report in the first place, who wrote it, and what it said. Given this peculiar fact, the attorneys for Jamie all wrote detailed declarations regarding their activities for the period between February 1st through 4th. One wrote a declaration regarding attempts to reach Brittany's treating doctor, Dr. Long. I think this is Geraldine. Geraldine wrote declarations. It was all of them. Wrote declarations memorializing their activities in support of their fees, conversations with Sam Ingham, and even Adam Streisand. Not a single declaration by any attorney or any party mentions Dr. Edward Spar. Ooh, good finding. Okay. Again, listen, I don't know if this is like the appropriate place or time to file this, but these arguments are not wrong. And they're helpful because is this true? Not a single declaration by any attorney? Like they all talked about all their stuff, that they had to do. They did. I've read these documents. They said, oh, this is what I did. I went to this hospital. I talked with this family member. I did this and that and the other. And the purpose of that was so that they could justify why they were charging so much money in these fees, right? Around that time of the onset of the conservatorship. And so One even wrote the other doctor that was Brittany's doctor. You know, she wrote a declaration regarding attempts to reach Brittany's treating doctor, Dr. Long. There was all these declarations and nobody mentions Dr. Spar, but somehow he was the one who deemed Brittany unable to be able to hire a lawyer. I don't know. Like, this seems weird. So what are y'all saying? Yeah, these are statements about how corrupt this is all. Yeah, no, I mean, I know it's good. Y'all, I need y'all to really understand. I'm a lawyer, so I can't just say, yeah, it's great. Like, let's all go file these petitions. You know, I have to, like, because I could get in trouble. So I just have to make sure I'm like being factual, right? I'm not sure that factually, like legally, whatever, this was the appropriate procedure. And it might have been. I really don't know. I'm just making sure I'm covering all my bases because, you know, people really love to hold like stuff that you say against you. So I have to like say things in a very qualified way, you know, and also want to make sure I'm actually being fair to everybody involved. Okay. 19. No one claims to have met with him, Dr. Spar, and no one claims to have spoken to him, and no one claims to have obtained a declaration from him. Interesting to know. That is interesting. Indeed, the last paragraph of the first page of the minute order also reflects that Sam Ingham suggested that the court retain an expert to evaluate Brittany, namely Dr. Stephen Marmer. So this is where, and I've covered this before too in several videos, but this is where this guy's Dr. Stephen Marmer is recommended or suggested by Sam Ingham, who just got appointed Brittany's counsel. Like, he just now got appointed Brittany's counsel against her consent. He has all her medical records, and now he gets to recommend and suggest which doctor is going to decide if she has the right to hire him. Like, that's not a conflict of interest. That's sarcasm. It is definitely a conflict of interest. So, okay. Thanks, Low Child. Okay, great. Okay. So what we have here is that, and Lisa's about to outline it too, more constitutional violations. The report to be issued by Dr. Marmer was not to be made available to anyone except Mr. Ingham, the attorneys for Jamie, Andrew Wallet, and the court. Why would that have been needed if Dr. Spar was already retained? And that's a great question, right? There was this Dr. Long guy up here. And if y'all are not familiar with how that all shook out, he actually refused to do this capacity declaration because his lawyer told him not to. That's in court documents. Then you have Sam Ingham getting appointed as Brittany's lawyer on the same day. He within the same week, it might have been the same day, he nominates this guy, Stephen Marmer, who no one's ever heard of. He has 1 or 2 stars on Medscapes. Like, look his reviews up. He's like been accused of all kinds of things. And so the only people that were ever going to see that were going to be, you know, these certain group of people. So her rhetorical question here is, why would all that be needed? Why do you need Stephen Marmer? Why do you need this declaration if Dr. Spar was already on the scene, right? Yeah, okay. So Dr. Marmer. Okay, 21. There's no mention of Dr. Spar in the minute order, which is very peculiar given what was written on the purported attorney order attached here to as Exhibit D and filed just 2 days later. So they're saying on that minute order, he's not taken, like his name wasn't taken on the roll call, basically. An attorney order is the document prepared typically by the attorneys for the petitioners in probate. That would have been Jamie Spears, lawyers, in probate court, that ends up being the official order. Okay, yeah, that is ultimately signed by the court. Obviously, it is a document that has been reviewed and approved by the court, reflecting findings and orders made at each hearing. The judicial officer signs this document to make it the official record of what was done and ordered. Okay. So basically, she's saying what I've told y'all on this channel before. That is, an attorney is usually the one for one of the, you know, sides, usually the one who's asking the judge to do something. The attorney is usually the one that writes the order, like sits down at the computer and writes it. And then the judge looks at it, makes sure that that's actually what the judge wants it to say. And then the judge signs it, right? The judge doesn't ordinarily sit down and type up their own orders. And so that's called an attorney order. It's an attorney order until it's signed by the judge. Then it's like an order, I guess. So I guess Lisa's point here is they don't even mention him in that. Why is my mouse not working here? Okay, wait. They don't even mention it in that minute order, anything about him. Okay, got it. We'll have to look at Exhibit D and see how this pieces together. 23. According to the attorney order, once Adam Streisand was out of the way, Jamie's attorneys, the court, and Sam Ingham agreed to deprive Brittany of a copy of the pleadings filed with the court, except for the order appointing Sam Ingham. Mr. Ingham. Except for the court order appointing Mr. Ingham. Okay, Jamie, as Brittany's temporary conservator, was also authorized to prevent Brittany from seeing attorneys other than Ingham. Okay. So it's actually pretty smart legal writing for if we're just looking at that. Oh, thank you, Maya. Found the LA County Bar Association guidelines for amicus curiae briefs. Do you have a public email address I can send it to? Yes. My public email address is ThatSurpriseWitness. At gmail.com. Okay. Thank you so much. Maya. Maya says they found the LA County Bar Association's guidelines for amicus curiae briefs. To have a public email address that she can send it to. Yes, please do. Thank you. Okay. So, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Where were we? So according to that order, so the way that Lisa is phrasing this is like good, strong legal writing. The attorneys, all these attorneys agreed to deprive Brittany of a copy of the pleadings, which is true. I mean, they did. I mean, they all said that, right? Like it's like one of those like, well, technically. Exhibit D states on page 2. As a result of the pleadings that have been filed, the declaration of J. Edward Spear, MD, and the report of PVP counsel Sam Ingham. That's okay. Right. Okay. PVP counsel is Sam Ingham. The court finds Brittany does not have the capacity to retain counsel, and she lacked the capacity to retain Adam F. Streisand as her counsel. It also states, according to Dr. Sparr's declaration, Brittany doesn't have the ability to attend the hearing. And then again, on the basis of Dr. Sparr's declaration and Mr. Ingham's report, the court should waive Brittany's presence at the hearing. So they keep referencing this Dr. Sparr declaration, but Lisa's saying, where is that? Because we never saw it. And, some people might say, well, obviously that's going to be hidden and sealed because it's medical information. And you're right. It would be substantively hidden and sealed, but you would at least be able to see like on the docket where it was actually filed. Do you know what I mean? Highly suggest I use Proton Mail. Okay. Why is it better? More secure. Who is Lisa? Lisa is the attorney who filed this petition. She's the founder of a charity called Betty's Hope, and she's just kind of laying out right now all of the different constitutional violations that she sees in this case. I love that all these shady moves are being outlined in a court document while the world and media are watching. This is the stuff we all know that the GP doesn't. Yeah, and I do find it interesting that they're reporting more on Brittany's Instagram account being deleted than this filing, but like I can see why in some ways, but it just is interesting, right? Just it's an interesting note. Okay, so Exhibit D. Okay. So all right. So she's talking about Dr. Sparr, like saying all these things. And she's saying, listen, nothing was ever actually filed with the court that we can even see. Like we can't even see that something was filed. So what's going on with that? And I agree with her. It's suspicious. Okay, now we got a boldface paragraph 25. Since no one has claimed to have contact with Dr. Sparr in their various and sundry declarations, where did that declaration come from? Good question, Lisa. And if Dr. Sparr was engaged by Brittany Jamie. I really wish they would use first names when everybody has different last names. That's just my issue. It's just my issue. If Dr. Sparr was engaged by Jamie as of February 4th, then why wasn't that mentioned? And why was Sam Ingham suggesting Dr. Marmer as the court's expert? All excellent questions, Lisa. I would like the answer as well. Number 26, Dr. Sparr should be made aware of why people from the Free Britney movement are contacting him. Number 4, do not underestimate the power of love. The Free Britney movement is right and their cause is righteous. Okay. Thank you. From a review of the fee requests, no one else did. I don't understand what this is about. Okay, number 27. On February 14th, 2008, so this is 10 days after Brittany was put into this fraudulent conservatorship, there was yet another discussion between the court and lawyers about the retention of an expert. And again, Dr. Sparr's name is not mentioned. The court approved payment to the original expert. In fact, not to Dr. Sparr. Adam Streisand, that was the guy that Brittany tried to hire at the beginning and got kicked out of the courtroom. He was very clear that Brittany did not want her father to be appointed as conservator of her person or estate. Thus, the court violated both the plain language and the spirit of the code, which directs that the court should appoint the conservatee's nominee, unless the court finds that the appointment would not be in her best interests. Maybe we can all be nice on here and stop belittling people. Yeah, no, y'all be nice. Y'all be nice to each other. Not everybody read all the news today yet. Okay. Despite her fame, fortune, and beauty and talent, Miss Spears was forced to be represented by an attorney she did not choose. Right. And I mean, fame, fortune, beauty, and talent are great, but you don't need none of that for your constitutional rights to click in. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need fame, fortune, beauty, and talent. The 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution grants that right to all citizens. And yet, Brittany was denied those rights to be represented by an attorney that she didn't choose. Testified against her with respect to issues of capacity. Exactly. I mean, good point, Lisa. And then he signed off on orders that violated her right to due process. And then soon afterward, he began receiving $10,000 a week for his efforts. We really just need to reread this again so somebody can take a snippet of it and put it on the Instagram or the TikTok, because this is so succinct, right? Brittany was forced to be represented by an attorney she did not choose, despite the fact that she did try to choose one and he got kicked out the courtroom. This attorney, who she did not choose, who she was forced to be represented by, testified against her with respect to her issues of capacity. And then he went on ahead and signed off on orders that violated Brittany's right to due process. And then right after that, he started getting $10,000 a week, right? It's just, I mean, listen, on the one hand, I am glad this is being filed in the court, and I'm glad like people are seeing it and stuff. I am glad about that part. I just don't want it to mess anything up or whatever, which I have no reason to believe it will. I just don't know. Okay. Number 29, the numerous violations of Brittany's constitutional rights resulted in an egregious miscarriage of justice. And the court has no option but to terminate the conservatorship promptly and unconditionally. So now she's finally getting to her point of you have to terminate it, right? Are y'all laughing at her? Yeah, I am wondering about why is there no coverage of this legal document? It clearly shows how corrupt the family court is. Yeah, the probate court. Exactly, Steve. She must have felt like she was stuck in the Twilight Zone. Exactly. Okay, so then we're on to the next section, which is titled Miss Spears has been misled by her court-appointed fiduciaries. Okay, let's see what this is about. Over the course of the last dozen years, Brittany has been clearly misinformed about numerous matters, starting with being told that she was unable to hire an attorney of her own choice and the following. She was told, and there's a list. A, that the Sam Ingham doesn't affect, the CPC? What is she calling the CPC? Does not affect the right to have children. Is the CPC the conservatorship? Lisa, you gotta tell us what this means. Okay. Over the course of a dozen years, she's been clearly misinformed about numerous matters, starting with being told she was unable to hire an attorney of her own choice, and the following, that it doesn't affect her right to marry. Or so she wasn't told this. So she wasn't told that this isn't supposed to affect her right to have children. And she doesn't have to submit to a psychiatric evaluation prior to filing a petition to terminate. Okay. Last thing, that it was devoid of any authority of a conservator to temporarily relinquish his or her duties as conservator. So I know this is one thing that Lisa gets up in arms about. It's that Jamie Spears, whenever his colon bust open, decided that he needed to temporarily step down as conservator. And that is why Jody is the temporary conservator of the person, right? But there's no such thing as temporarily stepping down. You either step down and you have to reapply and re-come back, or you don't. And at this point, it's like, Oh, someone has defined CPC. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, hey, Kevin. Wookieemon. Kevin tells us that the CPC is the California Probate Code. Okay. So when cost per click, I don't think it's that. Thank you, Kevin. Other Kevin Cruz, Taurus. This document is out. If y'all want to see this document, it is in the Google Drive that is linked in the description below. Is it? Okay, it will be right after this video if it's not right now, but it should be. I have put the Amanda documents in there though, so there's a folder for that. Okay, so this thing about temporary relinquishment, it may end up coming back, to rear its head, as it were, and I think that Lisa may be trying to have us keep it in mind. The next section is additional obvious reasons to terminate the conservatorship. This sounds like it's going to be common sense, which I enjoy. Brittany does not now, and in fact never, has qualified for a probate conservatorship of either her person or estate. Agreed. There has never been any evidence, much less clear and convincing evidence, presented to the court to prove that Brittany is unable to provide properly for her personal needs, for her physical health, food, clothing, or shelter. Okay. I haven't seen any. To the contrary, Brittany's achievements and accomplishments over the past 13 years is irrefutable evidence that not only can she provide those things for herself, but a veritable plethora of other people as well who have all profited handsomely from her work ethic and efforts. So basically, not only can she provide for herself, which is the threshold, she's making other people into millionaires. I agree. There's never been any evidence, much less clear and convincing evidence, presented to prove that she is substantially unable to manage her own financial resources or resist fraud or undue influence. But a veritable plethora of other persons have all profited handsomely from her work ethic and achievements. So again, she's saying no one ever really proved that Brittany can't take care of her own finances. Okay, now 32. The California Probate Code was never meant to be a weapon to control a vibrant human being and deprive her of her civil liberties and self-autonomy. Now, a month ago, I would have agreed with Lisa completely. I just do feel the need to insert my commentary here. And listen, I'm telling y'all where I agree with her and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, Jonas, stop. Caution, problematic, colon. I actually do believe that the California Probate Code has been systemically designed to function and work in precisely this exact way. That's my opinion, right? I think that the founders, or whatever you want to call it, way back in the day, maybe they had the idea in mind. No, not even the founders, to be quite honest, because even the founding fathers of this country did not even see people who were descendants of African, descendancy to be people. They saw them to be property. And that's kind of what I think the probate code has always been, is classifying certain members of our society as property and then saying, now you get less rights. And I just disagree with Lisa on this one particular sentence, that the California Probate Code was never meant to be a weapon to control a vibrant human being, because I do believe it was. But again, who knows? I could be wrong. I'm just pontificating. A California probate conservatorship is meant to protect someone who is incapacitated to the extent that they literally cannot provide for their own needs for health, food, clothing, and shelter. Like, again, oh, thank you so much, Alexander. Yes, take it to church, BJ, 100% with you on the outlook. Oh, thank you so much, Alexander. The colon is gone by now. Is a business. It is a business. And we also have people who are making like, oh wait, where's this? Sorry, didn't mean to put that on. You also have people like Vivian Lee Thurin's law firm, right? Like, this is not only a business, this is an ecosystem. So what do we really have riding on this? Let's just look at this one conservatorship. We have Jamie Spears making $16,000 a month plus $2,000, so that's $18,000 a month going to him. We have Lou Taylor, who was charging $500,000 a year. We have Vivian Lee Thurin's firm, who's paying with Brittany's money millions and millions of dollars to fight to keep Brittany in this conservatorship, to keep Brittany from having her full rights. So look at all these different people making money. Look at Sony, look at Caesars, look at MGM, look at RCA, look at all of the people who have entities, businesses, billion-dollar companies that are in contracts right now with Britney Spears that she might not continue to do, right? That the conservators put her in. We don't know if Britney's going to keep up with these contracts. Do you know what I mean? So there is a whole economy There's a whole economy of businesses resting on this. Okay. So it isn't just one business. It's the 20 to 30 businesses that are involved just under the Britney Spears brand umbrella, the billions of dollars, the perfume deals, the licensing, the this, that, all of it's apparently too hard to calculate. Y'all see where I'm going? All right, I'll get off the soapbox. Let's go to the next thing here. The California probate, incapacitated. Okay. The probate courts are not authorized to use mental health issues as the sole basis for finding that someone is in need of a probate conservatorship. Thank you for reiterating and confirming that. The code does not contemplate hybrid business models, and she's putting this in quotes because Britney's conservatorship has been referred to as a hybrid business model by her conservators in the past, Andrew Wallet. So it does not contemplate hybrid business models. The code does not, to exploit conservatees. And why would any conservator deserve severance pay when their ongoing involvement would harm the conservatee? Andrew Wallet should be asked to explain that. When Andrew Wallet left the conservatorship, he got a $100,000 payout, and they called it something, right? But basically, it was a payout. The war on drugs will never end because the government makes too much money. I agree with that completely. I totally and completely agree with that. And I'll get on my soapbox on that at another time, but I don't want to lose my watchers here. A conservatorship is not the least restrictive alternative to assisting Britney, even assuming that she is inexplicably unable to provide properly for her personal needs for physical health, food, clothing, or shelter, or if it was shown that she was substantially able to manage her own finances, blah, blah, blah. A probate conservatorship is not the least restrictive alternative to providing her with assistance. If Britney's regularly treating physicians ever find her to be incompetent and unable to make her own medical and or financial decisions, estate planning documents will allow her named agents and fiduciaries to assist her. So this is a really important point. A lot of people, they ask me all the time, how do I keep this from happening to me? How do I keep this from happening to my grandma, my grandpa, whatever? You don't. A lot of lawyers will tell you, you have to make a trust. You have to make estate planning documents, a will, a trust, a last will and testament, stuff like that. A lot of times those are just completely ignored in these conservatorship cases. And that's exactly what happened to Britney's. The judge allowed her dad and Andrew Wallet, against her consent, to come in and without her knowledge and change her trust, change her estate planning documents. But Lisa's saying, well, if y'all would have just let those stay in place, that would have been how it was going to go. And it was not Jamie Spears who was going to be the one in charge. Okay. So going back to your point from the contracts from the conservatorship, is it true Planet Hollywood had a clause that she needed to stay under the conservatorship for peace of me? Nikki, I understand that to be the case, but I don't know for sure. So then we have this last paragraph here. Miss Spears, so Britney's rancid conservatorship inflicts trauma, exploitation, and abuse. As the court has been previously advised, the imposition of this unwarranted conservatorship has brought embarrassment, emotional turmoil, and psychological injury to Britney. It is time for the court to recognize that an egregious miscarriage of justice has occurred and terminate the conservatorship immediately and unconditionally. I agree. Immediately, not no settling anything like that. Britney has credibly and lucidly articulated what she wants. Agreed. It's time to allow Britney to have her life back and be freed of the so-called protection of the LA County Superior Court. Okay. So then she gives her declaration that she's telling all the truth. I'm an attorney, licensed. Okay. So then you have her declaration here. I'm an attorney duly licensed to practice law in the state of California. I attended this certain law school, specific goal of becoming a probate and conservatorship. Oh, so she went to school with the goal of becoming a probate and conservatorship attorney. It was my aspiration to be of service to incapacitated elders and people who loved and cared about them. Never did I envision, that's like a very specific design. Like when I went to law school, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be litigating things and helping people. I didn't know, this is very specific, but a lot of people do go to law school knowing that they want to do stuff, and they take very specific classes, and they're usually pretty good lawyers. It was my aspiration to be of service. Okay. Never did I envision that I would be called upon to shine a light on the broken American legal system and the dysfunctional Los Angeles County Superior Court's probate department, hereinafter the probate department. In 2019, I founded a charity called Betty's Hope in order to advocate for the correction and reform of California probate courts and probate and equity courts throughout the nation. It has become abundantly clear that the present system of allowing and or encouraging judicial officers to train, select, appoint, direct, and compensate counsel has led to a veritable plethora of ethical and constitutional violations that leads to horrific outcomes. Okay, so basically she's saying y'all just letting the judges do all the things and there's no oversight. Under the current system in Los Angeles and other counties, why did Lisa wait till now? I don't know, Tiki. Why do you think? Under the current system, judicial officers are at once the triers of fact and obscenely dependent on the reports written by court-appointed counsel. Betty's hope, specific mission, is, we've already read this, I feel like. Didn't we already see this? Specific mission is to ensure that every person facing or in a conservatorship is represented by a lawyer who's trained, supervised, and held accountable for their bad things. Presently, there's no agency, person, or entity that we report this to. I know this for a fact because I have tried everything to sound the alarm. What was done to Brittany is ethically repugnant on many levels. On so many levels, it is difficult to imagine how she has borne it all so well. Brittany is right to be infuriated. I am appalled by what was done to her and remain in awe of the passion and compassion demonstrated by the many people all over the world who have rallied to free Brittany. These documents attached as Exhibit A and B were downloaded from the lacourt.org website. The documents attached as C and D were transmitted to me, excuse me, by, let me take a drink of water. Sorry. Okay. Documents attached as Exhibit C and D were sent to her by Babs Gray and Tess Barker, the brilliant journalists who host the podcast called Brittany's Graham. I have extensive experience with reviewing court records, and these look to be exactly what would normally be prepared. However, I was not able to download these documents directly from the court's website, although I tried. No doubt that Brittany's new counsel will be provided certified copies from the court, as well as a transcript of the February 4th, 2008 proceedings, because we don't have access to the transcripts, I don't think. She explains it in detail that the cronyism that took place in Britt's case. On Betty's hope, she's cool or not. I don't know, Stephanie. I don't know. I mean, lots of people are saying lots of things I haven't really verified or, whatever, but Nikita's basically the chat moderator. Should I make Nikita a chat moderator? Oh, no, I don't have that ability here because I'm doing it from StreamYard. Okay, let's just finish this. Okay. This document. So she got some documents from Babs and Tess. They're not official court documents. So she's saying, look, I think they're real, but just letting you know so nobody gets mad at me. I was able to download declarations of attorneys Thoreen, Weil, and Cohen and did not find a single reference to Dr. Spar. Clearly, Brittany's legal team should get in touch with Dr. Spar directly to determine what involvement he had, if any, in this matter. Number 7, the broken American legal system is doomed to sink into further decline if the words trauma, exploitation, and abuse elicit no response whatsoever from the leadership of that system. I agree. I have written literally hundreds of letters to judges and politicians and have even been quoted in the Los Angeles Times regarding practices and policies of the probate courts, which are unconstitutional to this very day. Okay. The judicial branch has failed to respond, and the politicians have failed to address the real problem. Now that I definitely agree. The politicians certainly have failed to address the real problem. My little thing won't highlight here. It's time to hashtag free Brittany and conduct an investigation. We need several investigations. But 1 and 2, so she's saying conduct an investigation into how so many lawyers and jurists involved in the case could have so epically failed Britney Spears and so many other people facing or in probate conservatorships. I declare under penalty of perjury that I didn't lie. Okay, what do we have here? Exhibit A. So we've seen this before. If you need another moderator, I'd definitely be interested and familiar with the court doc. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah, I do. Send me an email, CH, to that email address I put up earlier. Okay. So this is the March 10th, 2008 citation that Jamie filed with the court. So this is supposed to be delivered to Brittany so she knows her rights, right? Conservatorship of the person. So it's the same thing we saw earlier with Amanda Bynes' citation, literally reading 2 of these on the same day. But so I don't know exactly who is A. Watts. Alan Watts, one of my favorite philosophers. Okay, she declares as follows. Listen. Luce Forward, Valerie Segura. This is the firm that Vivian Lee Thoreen, Bruce Ross, who would later become Bessemer Trust's lawyer in this exact case, worked there at that firm together with two of Jamie's other lawyers, Gerald and Geraldine. So Gerald, Geraldine, Vivian, and Bruce Ross all worked together at this law firm that you're looking at on the screen right now whenever Brittany was put into the conservatorship. And as of July 14th, 2021, just this past couple hearings ago, Mr. Bruce Ross was representing Bessemer Trust Company as the alleged supposed independent fiduciary who was supposed to come in and be independent. He had worked at this law firm with Vivian Lee Thoreen, who is still Jamie's lawyer, and Gerald and Geraldine. They all worked together at this law firm. All of them worked at this law firm right here, Luce Forward Hamilton Scripps. So anyway, nice to see that one pop its head back in. Okay, so here's the appointment of Sam Ingham, right? So we have this February 1st, 2008 document. The court on its own motion appoints Sam Ingham to act as counsel for Brittany. The court orders he will have access to and authority to review a copy of Brittany's medical records, a conservatee or proposed conservatee. So this was the day it was ordered, I think. The day the conservatorship was ordered, the day after she was admitted to the hospital. Okay, we've read this several times on my channel, so I'm not going to go through all of this, but this is the one where they go ahead and kick. Yeah, see, they nominate Stephen Marmer here. What's his name is kicked out of the courtroom. He's excluded. Yeah, okay. So this is where the constitutional rights all just start being violated. Exhibit D. Now, what is this? Order extending the letters of temporary conservatorship. Now, look who all is up here. Vivian, Jeffrey, Gerald, and Geraldine. So Geraldine, and Vivian are all still on this case. Vivian's moved to a different law firm. We don't have to read this, I don't think. This is just the court finds. So this was that attorney's order. It hasn't been signed by everyone somehow. Why? I don't know if this was filed in the court or not. Oh, yeah, it says filed right here. Okay, why didn't Andrew Wallet sign it? Maybe there was another one that he signed. Further hearing. Let's see. February 1st. So these are the findings of the court. Court appointed Sam Ingham. Is in the best interest that the conservatorship be continued. Wallet is suitable and qualified as temporary co-conservator of the estate. Spears is suitable and qualified as the temporary co-conservator. Like, that's such a lie. Mr. Spears is qualified to be the co-conservator of Britney Spears' probably billion-dollar empire at that point. It's necessary and appropriate that the letters, as a result of the pleadings. I'm trying to make this bigger. It's hard to read it. Oh, shoot. Sorry, y'all. Court finds that Ms. Spears does not have the capacity to retain counsel, and she lacked the capacity to retain Adam Streisand as her counsel. So this is the thing that Lisa's making kind of a fuss about, is that they reference all this stuff about Edward's bar, but we don't ever see any capacity declaration at all whatsoever. This might be the best court document. I wish I could go. I'm in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey too, femme fatale. I'm going. Sometimes there are people on here trying to harass BJ while she's streaming. This is a private party who's streaming, not a public entity. Right, exactly. I know, it's mean. I need to just get a couple moderators. He's not even qualified. He's not even qualified to pick up dog crap. Okay. Also, Britney Spears deleted her Instagram today. So should we talk about that a little bit and then have a little Q&A? I'm prepared to do that. I'm so appreciative of Lisa. I feel bad that her motives have been viewed as suspicious or worse. Sloan said, Rosengart said Brittany told him about her wanting a break. Yeah, exactly. So, fortunately, if you mention it. Oh, as we know, it's been deleted. Unfortunately, if you mention it, it will be belittled and told to calm down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so no one be mean to people who don't know, but Brittany's Instagram was deleted, and don't be mean. And apparently, according at least to page 6, who claims to have spoken to Brittany, wrong. Claims to have spoken to Matt Rosengart. So listen, I don't know if page 6 is telling the truth and stuff, but let me do this. Page 6 did say, let me see if I can read it. Should I try to like put it up on the screen or whatever? Let's see if I can do that, and then y'all can see what I'm reading. I don't know. Just guess I'll stop sharing that one. And just learning how to do. There should be moderators and they can post links for me. I know. I need help. I need assistance. Help me. Okay. What is this the right thing? Oh, I think I got it. Okay. Why Britney Spears suddenly deleted her Instagram. Let's hear it from page 6. Britney Spears is sending a powerful message by deleting her Instagram amid her 13-year conservatorship, a source exclusively told page 6. So who's the source? I don't know. She's happy and in a great place, the source said, adding, a silence can be a powerful thing and a powerful message. Agreed. The insider affirmed this was her decision. The source also shared the overprotected pop star is taking some time away from social media in light of the successful path that she has been on and continues to be on following the news of her engagement. Listen, she may be trying to keep them from being able to use that thing against her. And someone said earlier, they used Amanda's against her, so it wouldn't be far-fetched. Matthew Rosengart confirms separately that it was Britney's choice to take a social media break. I was looking under the picture. Britney and longtime boyfriend Sam Asghari got engaged on Sunday after 5 years of dating. In one of her latest Instagram posts, she said the proposal was worth the wait. Our insider also noted, is the insider Matt Rosengart or is this like a separate thing? The insider also noted that major celebs take social media breaks all the time, and this shouldn't be viewed as something negative for Britney. Aside from her engagement, it's kind of funny that they're calling this a social media break, considering like she might have only mods should be chosen after chats have been assessed closely. Yeah, good idea. A source is very telling. Let me know if you actually want some mods, BJ. Yeah, no, like actually do. So I'll send some feelers out. Yeah, so page 6 is very suspect, but I do believe their story. One of her last Instagram posts, she stated how she disliked the negative post. Then she said, kiss my A word. It may have been telling us why she is leaving. She mentioned how she appreciates the little things in life. Yeah, no, I mean, she might just be tired of seeing people telling her what to do and asking if she's okay. Like, it can be empowering to just remove yourself completely. Like, everything she says and does gets talked about, put in the headlines, put in the this, that, and the other. So fine, go on ahead and talk about my case and stop talking about me or whatever. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I really don't know. Britney shared at court hearings. Oh, wait. Aside from her engagement, another major win she has seen recently is Jamie is finally taking steps to terminate her conservatorship, which, okay. I don't know if we should be that excited. We call it a major win. Like, who knows what he's really doing there? He could withdraw it. Anything could happen. Britney shared at court hearings over the summer that she deemed her conservators to be abusive and controlling of many aspects of her life. Her social media has sparked many concerns from her diehard fans who speculated whether she was sending secret cries for help in her posts. Britney's social media manager, Cassie Petrie, previously argued that the pop star is the mastermind behind all her posts. Britney creates her own posts and writes her own captions for Instagram. She wrote on her Instagram earlier this year. That was Cassie who said that. Cassie further goes on to say she finds the Google images, Pinterest images, quotes, memes, and everything else herself. No one is suggesting any of that stuff to her. She generally edits the videos herself. And that's all we have. So I guess if we're taking page 6's word for it, she chose to delete it. I have it done. Taking a break feels great. I've done it too, and taking a break can feel great. 100% believe Jamie wants to terminate before he's found in wrongdoing and has to pay the $47 million bond, but that's just me. Especially after people saying to get a prenup. Who decides to change the captions? I don't know. This is the first time in her life since she has had a baby. Yeah, and honestly, Maybe she's been really wanting to take a break for a long time. Maybe she's been wanting to take a social media break since 2018. Maybe she did perhaps post some of those different strange posts in order to get some type of attention so that people would start talking about her case. I mean, people have said that, and others have been called, conspiracy theorists about it, but oh wait, I didn't even see this. Thank you, Marion. Super sticker. When was that from? Thank you. I didn't even see that. Okay, you're so nice. Why surprise? She always got eyes on her. He wants to celebrate along with her fiance. Makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, just reading somebody else's comments. She's been silenced before. No. She's been silenced before, so I can't really trust what is said from an article. I deleted my Facebook as well. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I wonder if the engagement is a way to send Jamie scrambling. Seems like the process of setting up a complex prenup would be an even bigger mess for Jamie, no? Actually, good point. Let me do the. I wonder if the engagement is a way to send Jamie scrambling. Seems like the process of setting up a complex prenup would be an even bigger issue for Jamie, right? Because he's going to have to ask the court for money to pay those lawyers, right? I would think. I don't know. I feel like it's normal for us to be also questioning why her Instagram is deleted because we as fans have been in the dark. Exactly. I think so too. It's just hard to really exactly know like what's going on. It's like, who really knows? Where was this? I thought there was another one. I don't know why I did that. I was trying to find this. I was trying to get this stupid thing off of here. Hold on. Let me just turn this off. Okay. I feel like it's normal for us to be questioning why her Instagram is deleted because we as fans have been in the dark for years about what's going on. Yeah, exactly. I respect her decision. Signing the yeah. Yeah. So I mean, listen, if Britney Spears really did take a break, good for her. 100% support that. But ultimately at the end of the day, we really don't know. Page 6 could be lying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know Page 6. I don't know who a source is. Do you know what I mean? Like a source. But it does seem that Matt Rosengart, if Matt Rosengart really did do that interview, I definitely believe him. I don't think he's lying. Yeah. Deleting, deactivating, also keeping the C ship in the dark. Daddy can't use Insta. Oh, shoot. To snoop. I think she's waiting until after the 29th. Oh, yeah, maybe so. Britney Spears' verified Twitter account posted today that she is taking a break to celebrate her engagement, Laura said. I wouldn't be shocked if she deleted it because all the people posting bad things about Sam. She was so excited and met with a lot of negativity. True. Oh, Ramona, thank you for the super sticker. If a prenup is like a divorce, then he would have to fork up info on assets. Maybe he would. Article is very interesting in its entirety. I know. Thank you, Oscar. Actually, I'm worried for Brittany. I just remember what happened last time. Wait, what do you mean? What? Oh, right. Right. Yeah, when they put her into that mental hospital against her will. She is going to have a good book. Yeah, I mean, whew. I agree. She was excited and everyone was like, prenup. I'd be sad. I can't lie. Like, it kind of crossed my mind a little bit. But I didn't necessarily like say that on her. And I definitely didn't say it on her Instagram. I didn't do that. I'm not evil. Page 6 uses sources that are not always credible. I watched many episodes of Housewives of New York to ignore that fact. I watched too many episodes of Housewives of New York to ignore that fact. Brittany needed a break. Personally think she's getting rid of folks telling her to be wary of Sam. It's her choice and we should back her. Really will have an awesome book. He totally would have to do a financial report, so that's something. Y'all saying she can't post on Instagram and then turn around and post on Twitter. I feel like Insta is her favorite social media platform. So I feel like it counts. She is not on Twitter nearly as much. Okay. Interesting take. Thank you. I love you, BJ. Thank you for your time and money. Oh, oop, that's not what I want. Who is that? Heather. Thank you so much. And you are welcome. I just deleted Instagram myself, Snippet said. But it's because I had added a bunch of people. I didn't choose to follow. Creep me out. Oh, that is weird. It had added. What do you think of Brian? Jamie Lynn. If she didn't like the Sam attack, she could turn comments off. I would think she would still love to share a celebration of her engagement. I don't feel good about the deactivation. So I haven't really made my mind up here. I'm just letting y'all say your opinions and let other people see what other people's opinions are. All opinions that are reasonable are welcome here. So Tria honestly will defend Brittany. Whatever she wants, I'll defend her and support her. Brittany can get out of the sea ship. I can't wait. Yeah, same. What's BS 10? Do you think new circumstances her dad mentioned in the petition is the engagement? Maybe he knew earlier. Maybe. Oh no. All these bad thoughts are happening in my mind now. No. Agreed. Prenup or something similar is a good idea. Some people are really negative and condescending on our Instagram. Yeah. Oh, this is such a nice comment. We are all rewriting history. Oh, BS10 is her next. Oh, is her next 10th album. Oh, sorry. Critical analysis is not going through something and saying if it's correct or if you agree with it or not. Actually, Nadia, that's exactly what it is. Every person is responsible for analyzing things that we each see throughout the day. So each and every person who is here on this chat will be confronted with information all the time that each individual person has to analyze and analyze critically. And in a critical analysis where you're kind of speaking your way through the thought process, you would absolutely say, I think this, I'm going through this. Let me make sure I have all the facts. You're kind of gathering. You're like, okay, where we are with the facts right now, Nadia, is that I kind of agree with Lisa, for example, where we would be if the facts were to, if more variables were to come into place, could be different, right? And so before I make a final conclusion, I like to be very open with people that I have not done that yet, because I think it's important. People come here because I'm a lawyer. People come here because I have, these opinions, and this is the type of analysis that I do engage in on this channel. And so that is precisely what critical analysis is. Thank you very much for your input. And thank you so much, AWN Network. You are so nice. Just wanted to donate again because I support you and very much appreciate all the work you do. Of course. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Oscar. Do you think Brittany will be coming back to music? I don't know. I don't really have a personal opinion. Like I truly, truly do hope Brittany just does what she wants to do. If she doesn't want to sing another song in her life, I totally support that. But I kind of do think she probably will come back to music, and it'll be something completely different. And not like we've seen before, but that's just what I think. I'm not an expert. I really have no idea. I do think she probably will, though, on her own terms. I'm a 1L and empath. That's why I'm here. Exactly. Oh my God. IS. That resonates with me so much. Like you have the emotional like side that you can't quantify, but like it's right. And then you have like the facts and logic you have to stick to. What's your email again? It's ThatSurpriseWitness@gmail.com. I think the timing of the engagement is strategic and brilliant, Tia says. I heard a rumor Brittany had a meeting with RCA with Matthew. Oh, you did? Where'd you hear that rumor? I want more information, Nola. Oh, no, that's not you. Where'd the rumor go? Y'all are typing too fast. I didn't put the right rumor up. Do you think you'll be able to get into the court hearing with added media coverage? I'm going to try. I'm going to get there super early. I'm probably not even going to be at the rally. I'm going straight into the courthouse, and hopefully I get a spot. Before she got famous, she said she envisioned herself kind of like Sheryl Crow. Could be the perfect time to reinvent herself. Yeah, I totally support that. And listen, I really do believe, I didn't know much about Britney Spears before the movement and stuff. I kind of got in through this aspect of it. But from what I've learned about Britney Spears over the past, my nose is so itchy, over the past year, I definitely think like she's an artist. Oh, y'all are asking me about the bad thoughts. I definitely think Britney is an artist, and I think she's super creative. And I think that whatever she comes up with, like on her own and like in her own terms, is going to be excellent. How? I love how in one breath the sea ship is horrid. There's nothing wrong with Brit, yet she isn't given the respect to know who's good for her. Pick a side. I agree with you about the picking a side thing, Mel. What I'll say about this in particular is that I've kind of been, and listen, y'all don't come for me. Hear me out first, okay? We're doing a little analysis here. Do use your critical analysis. I've been on the fence, quite frankly, about Sam Asghari, and this is the reason why. Brittany told us in court with her own words she was not allowed to go to the doctor to take out this IUD. She told us with her own mouth she was not allowed to see her friends, to see and communicate with people who she had relationships with. She wasn't allowed to see even her kids whenever she necessarily wanted to, and all this stuff. And so I guess my question, since I've learned about the conservatorship, has been, why is it the case that Brittany is allowed, of all the things she's not allowed to do, to pick her life partner? And I heard a theory, and this is my working theory. I heard a theory, and this is where I'm standing on it now, but I would love to hear y'all's opinions or whatever until we can get Brittany's word on it. Maybe Sam was sort of like handpicked at the beginning, and then maybe he kind of like fell in love with Brittany for real and sort of turned on the conservatorship. If that's what happened, I totally believe that happened, and I have no problem believing that, and that makes sense. I think the people who are wary of Sam, I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I try to, right? And the people wary of Sam, I know they really care about Britney Spears, and I definitely don't think, Mel, that they're trying to say they don't trust her judgment or anything like that. I think that probably what they're more trying to say is what I had wondered in the beginning, which is like, why is she allowed? And like a lot of people say, oh, allowed, allowed. What do you mean allowed? She has the legal right. Sure, she has the legal right to drive her car too. And Jamie took her license and trapped her in the house. It's just an outstanding question to me. How Jamie doesn't try to intervene in that way, but he's intervened in every other way. Now, it's totally possible that Jamie was on board with this relationship in the beginning and then he wasn't. Again, y'all don't come for me. I really don't know. But again, I don't think it is necessary to post it on Brittany's Instagram, and I'm certainly not advocating that. I don't think it's necessarily. Can you get inside, BJ? Did you figure it out? Can I get inside what? Oh, the courtroom. I think so. I don't think it's going to be closed. I don't believe he was hacked. There's a small story, Sam turning on Team Khan. I think things have changed. Right. And listen, it could be the case that Jamie just lets her pick her own boyfriend. I don't know. But whenever I'm saying I'm saying that in the understanding that Brittany told us herself that she is told what to do, where to go, who to see all the time. And so I'm just using that context. But it's possible that Jamie just lets her date Sam and he doesn't interfere, doesn't intervene, and Brittany's always been allowed to date who she wants. It just seems odd to me that Jamie would allow that to happen, because it would create to me a risk of someone to be friendly with Brittany to team up again, to see how horrible it is, which is perhaps what actually happened. Again, I don't know. I really don't know. It's totally possible that this is just 100% like Jamie always hated Sam, Brittany chose him, and that's that. I don't know. I really don't know. Allowing her to have a boyfriend allows the illusion of freedom. True. I trust Brittany. I definitely trust Brittany. I trust her. I absolutely do trust her. This has nothing to do with her. I don't know if what Brittany is saying to us is being filtered. We don't know 100%, right? That's all I'm saying. Jamie must have been on board, but I hope Sam has just been smarter than her former boyfriends and played along. Other theories have been like, oh, maybe Sam threatened to break his NDA, or maybe Sam said, I'm only following this NDA if you let me see, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he saw some things. He did say Jamie was a D bleep, bleep, bleep. She could have put her foot down with Sam after what happened with Trawick. I don't know. And again, this is all just speculation. I'm not sure it's necessarily healthy for us to be speculating. But what I do want to say is within the movement, if you see somebody questioning Sam, I would just maybe consider that they do have Brittany's best interest at heart, and maybe they're not saying the words that are the most respectful or professional, and maybe they need to say their words better. But maybe it's not that they don't trust Brittany, right? Because she sees those comments too. Like whenever people are like, you don't trust Brittany, it's like, maybe that's not what that person was saying. And now you have it on the internet and Brittany's reading that people don't trust her. And that's not what they were saying at all. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not accusing anyone of doing this. I'm just offering an alternative way to think about things if you wish. I appreciate your explanation. It's more than what most do. If Sam were on her team con, I'm sure there are contracts or NDAs. I'm sure there's proof either way. Yeah. Either way. So I want to put Mel because I did respond to their question. So Mel is saying it's more than what Sam were on Team Con, then there are contracts, NDAs, or whatever it is, there's going to be proof. And I think that is true. It would all come out for sure. What I hope, and this isn't what I think or whatever, what I actually hope, Britney Spears and Sam Asghari are in real, actual love with each other and they can do what makes them happy, which seems to be getting married and perhaps having children. I sincerely hope that is the real situation that's going on. I really want that to be the case. Okay. Things could change after the termination. Do you think we'll get more filings tomorrow? I don't know if we'll get filings tomorrow or not. I'm not sure. I hope so. Oh, what else? I thought the chef thing was fake. Yeah, the chef thing was fake. Maybe they allowed her to have a boyfriend originally. It created an image of Britney living her best life. And when Free Britney came a big movement, they couldn't remove him that easily. We all need to give her the space to make her choices. She deserves to be happy. Agreed completely. Completely, Ramona. She might be free and leave him and start completely over. Who really knows until she's free? Yeah, who knows? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. I know nothing. A lot of plausible theories. Exactly. I just want to make sure like we're all just kind of like being like tolerant of each other and like ultimately this is like, and I'm going to end on this note, but ultimately this is like the only like really bipartisan thing I've ever been a part of. And it's like a global movement. And I think it's so amazing that people from all these different political affiliations and stuff have been able to come together to kind of agree on something. Like we all agree that this conservatorship is bull bleep. And so I just like that we are modeling for the rest of the entire globe how we can disagree with each other respectfully and professionally. And professional, I don't mean professional like wearing a suit and stuff, right? I don't even mean not cursing. But what I mean is like you give the other person the benefit of the doubt. You assume that they're just as smart as you. And then you kind of move forward with that. And sometimes they're not. But I really like it that we've been able to do this. And I kind of want to encourage everybody to kind of like sort of give people the benefit of the doubt, see the best in people or whatever. I know that sounds like real woo-woo or whatever, but I really do think that we have like created a model, a new blueprint. We really have. Like this is a global socio-political movement at the end of the day. It's historical. It's making history. And we have the opportunity as young people and not and less young people, all people, to really decide what we want our systems to look like. Government, constitution, we're all equipping and arming ourselves with knowledge about finances and how the systems work. And you know what? We're all going to help each other. And we have to be able to keep doing that. I really do believe that. But sometimes some of y'all do get on my nerves, but that's all right. I still want to get along with y'all and stuff. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go. Agreed on the blueprint. Exactly. A healthy discussion. Exactly, Monica. All right. So I'm losing losing viewers. But I was wrapping up anyway. It's already been 2 very long streams today. Hopefully nothing else happens. But honestly, hopefully something else does happen because I'm not going to be anywhere anyway. This is where I live. So, all right. So happy that y'all were here. Facts ain't defamation. I can't wait to see what happens next. Make sure your notifications are on and things. I think I figured out the way to make those start working. And I'll see y'all next time. Facts ain't defamation. Okay, bye.